I haven't got a script as usual, so here goes. I want to make this video, not in the best of circumstances, as you will understand, to document my year. I always say don't I? Got told about that. From May 2018 till May 2019 has been astounding, quite honestly. Done it again. Okay, I'll start with, I was 4 years living in my, I can't say which address, I've moved about 5 times since then, all in over a few weeks. It's basically, there has been quite a change in matters with respect to a councillor from Torbay, Torbay Council councillor and Country Squire magazine, the councillor who fled to Manila. And he fled to Manila because he's been abused on a level similar to mine, but mine is much more extreme. So yeah, it's like insane really. So let's attempt to take you with me on my last year's journey, because I'll tell you what, it's fascinating. So let's see how I do on recall. My landlord was negligent, and I informed him repeatedly the firearms did not work, and he ignored that fact, and eventually there was a small pan fire, and it was like caught light, couldn't do it. I screamed to the neighbours because I'm terrified of fire. Some children opposite where I lived, Ellicombe Church Road, Torquay, Google it, they played in my house. They died in a fire. I was seriously burned, had my hand in a burn bag for months and months and months, no flesh, agony. So my biggest bugbear is fire alarms, fire safety. It feels secure. You wouldn't you? It's a trauma. So he completely ignored that for 2 years, and stupid things like their friends would say in the flats downstairs, that alarm keeps bleeping up there, tell her, sort of to replace the battery, like I was being irresponsible. And I informed them, well, no, I've told you it doesn't work. I've replaced the battery, it doesn't work. Please listen, it doesn't work. Grenfell Tower, hello. So of course there was going to be something happen, and the staff at Fresh Move letting agencies, Torquay, Exeter, Fiona Gardner, manager, the staff, I got on with everyone brilliantly. 4 years I lived there, no problems. And until this matter came up, and they came and said, oh, you saved David Shopland, the landlord, from manslaughter charges. If this hadn't have been highlighted, God knows what would have happened. And it was a very small matter. It was just some smoke damage. So I was like, well, fire negligent, this is not my responsibility. Of course, I'm qualified in law, I'm not stupid by far. So that was really the beginnings of this year. And it was just some silly dispute about who will pay to repaint the kitchen. That basic. And they were just completely irresponsible and wouldn't, it was just a tit for tat, literally tit for tat. And I stood my ground, as that's who I am, it's like, wait a minute here, you should be answering to charges for negligence. And yeah, so it sort of stemmed from there to just insanity. So I went to get advice, I couldn't get advice. The people, mistakenly I went to a charity in Torbay, which is notorious on social media fake homeless, it turned out to be. And I did say to them, "You're not them, are you?" Because I'd run a campaign along with the rest of the nation in Britain against their inhumanity and the behaviour. You know, they've been found now to have been stealing basically donations from the poor, like that have been given to them. And I've fought endlessly for homelessness and worked in Torbay Council with the homeless years ago. You know, I worked for Torbay Council, and it was a main area for me, released prisoners, homelessness and so forth. So yeah, they lied, and the police ended up coming round and abusing me. There's where it's at. And in 2013, I went through a horrific execution, electrocuted by them, 100,000 volts. It's in my other videos, a detailed description of that, so I won't go into that right now. You can link in. It was absolutely vile what they done and the behaviour, and it caused me really a post-traumatic breakdown, literally of a magnitude that you couldn't even conceive. I absolutely hit the floor. So I was like agoraphobic for about 3 years, and many complications with that. It was just the most horrific thing ever, what the damage they did to me. But I recovered from that, as I do. I always get back up again, you know. I get knocked down a lot. But yeah, they came round and abused me again after what they'd done to me, and it was just too much. It was just, "You can't do this, you can't do this." Yeah, we can. And because of my childhood, I was in the worst abuse system in Britain and fought them every day as well. "You can't do this, you can't do this." Oh yes, we can. So I fought for justice for years and years. So you can understand the hope that I just could not accept it. I just couldn't accept it. So I had no help through my post-traumatic stress disorder breakdown. The services, there was none. I have a Liverpool accent, and they just look upon you as like, "Oh, you what are you after?" Not that I was severely unwell with post-traumatic stress disorder and that I needed help. No. For years, and I can evidence all of this, they left me to rot. So it took a long time to recover, 3 years. So we're talking by the 4th year. This happened, May 2018. And I asked for fire reports, and they said, "Okay, call the fire service if you want a fire alarm." So of course I did. And they directed for the entire house to be rewired. And I've got photographs, evidence. There are big red wires from head to toe of the house, 3 flats, a child below and things. A child, you know, who loved me to bits. I got on with all the neighbours, got on with the landlord, got on with the estate, got on with everyone. As I do, that's who I am. When this all happened, boy, did that change. I think, you know, they wouldn't accept responsibility, and I wasn't pushing that. It was just a simple matter of, wait a minute, you can't behave in this manner. Oh yes, we can. So I was given a section 21, which means that you must leave your home. We don't need to give you a reason. But the police were behind that. They'd done it to me when they electrocuted me in 2013, and I brought a case against them. If you complain against them, they target you. And they made my life a misery back in 2013. I've got 124 recordings of videos of pure abuse from a neighbour that they encouraged and enabled. I was 30 steps away from the police station, having that breakdown they caused me for the abuse, for electrocuting me, a killer shot to the heart, 100,000 volts. So that was just, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. If you look, Google this morning, there's an Olympian, as it says in my other video, and she took 10 litres of pig's blood around to a partner was unfaithful and dumped her. And she went well off the edge, completely crazy, and it was like a massacre, and you just video it, it's just obscene. They're like, it's a horror story. It's like blood gushed down the street and the neighbours thought there'd been a massacre. And that happened at the exact same time as what I did. I did responsibly, take responsibility. As I said in my other video, they just come round and started pushing me around my flat, and I barricaded the doors. Leave me alone, leave me alone. No, laughing at me, abusing me. And it was, I just, because it took so long to recover from what they'd last done to me, I just got this pot of paint. I am laughing about it, but there's only so much anyone can take, And this woman, she was a celebrity on a TV programme this morning. Google it. This morning, Great Britain, an Olympian, and what she did, and she was celebrated for it, and that was just like bizarre. Really, what she did was wow, crazy. What I did was just like, this is too much, and it was coercive control. Excuse me. I'm not very good at these videos. Domestic abuse, coercive control. It doesn't mean you have to be in a relationship to react in the manner that I did. And all that I did was take the art size tiny pots of paint, as I've said before. This was about this big. And I just, really, it was just beyond, I'd gone beyond it and couldn't take any more after what they'd done to me already. And it wasn't only 2013 we're coming to that. And it was, no one was there, the police station was closed, and I just went up and threw the paint over the doors and sat down. That was it. And they took me in, they absolutely abused me all night. Beyond belief. They left me with a stutter that you hear occasionally on my videos when I get anxious. I find it very difficult, and I stutter uncontrollably. To have that and know that that's what they did to me, that's a very difficult thing to live with. And I won't get upset in spite of them. So they took me in, and then it went again. They stripped me naked and they absolutely abused me all night. Gang chanted at me, and it was far right. My social media, I used music a lot. I used music all of the time, and the music, they used it against me, and the music they used, it was far right. I've explained it many times on social media. I won't go into it now. It is clear it was far right. But the police are excuse me, without question far right. The army, Tommy Robinson, they're trained, brainwashed to hate. My sister's 32 years served, a leader of hundreds of men, ma'am, the highest ranking in the Navy in the war you can get. I've grown up around the services. I know exactly what the situation is, and it's out of control in Britain. And who are the police? They're ex-army, ex-services. So it's all the same crew. So when you see Tommy Robinson's little crew of army supporters, you've got to think that that's the police and that's the prison service security, and everywhere you look, they are ex-services. They are brainwashed to hate. And I'm afraid to tell you, they are far right. So all of this truly links in, and that's why I say it. So let's get back to what happened this last year. I was given the Section 21. They put me through a kangaroo trial. They would not give me disclosure. There wasn't a single solicitor in Turkey that would defend me. The solicitor I had wouldn't even speak to me. I'm qualified in law. I'm ex-community sentencing for the Home Office, criminal justice. Are you crazy, or am I? What is going on? Give me disclosure. And who is acting for me? They cancelled my legal aid. So that meant not only could I not get a solicitor, and I really couldn't, everyone refused me because the police, they all work together. I know that. I'm qualified in law. They're all in each other's pockets. It's one circle. So it was like I was never off the phone. It was like trying to get legal advice, trying to deal with a fire reports, a Section 21, and then I had my Fiona Gardner Fresh Move letting agencies suddenly said to me, I said, well, that was it. I was trying to get other accommodation, and I kept on getting no's, and I'm thinking, what's going on? So I contacted Fiona Gardner Fresh Move. You're not getting a reference. And I'm like, sorry, why? I've been here 4 years, there's never been a complaint. I got on with everybody until this fire matter at Grenville Tower. Why? Oh, the police were involved. You threatened a neighbour. Excuse me, what did you just say? Basically, she put absolute false allegations on me. So immediately, I said, okay, access to data. Where she responded with, oh, I've got to call the police, I've got to call the police. Now, I can tell you now, it's nothing to do with the police. So I'm thinking, well, why would you need to call the police? I need to protect myself. Well, why would you need to protect yourself? I'm a threat to nobody. Why? So what was that about? That was about a snide cover-up by the police, and they directed her to make me homeless again, like they did in 2013. The long arm of the law. I've learned a lot about that this year, and I will tell all. So yeah, suddenly, I've got bailiffs coming and say, what do? You can't get accommodation. She won't give me they won't give me a reference. If you haven't got a reference, you cannot get accommodation. Checkmate. Finished. So access to data, that was prolonged. Access to data for them abusing me in the cells the way they did, to evidence what they'd done to me, because police complaints are corrupt, as I found out in 2013. Report the police to the police. You're reporting a murderer to a murderer. What do you think they're going to do? Hands up, savage avid jokes, it's utterly unjust. The whole British system is an injustice system. And I'm pretty determined. I've changed British legislation for all abused children. I'm pretty determined, mate, and I'm going to go for it this time as well. I'm not quite sure where I'm going yet. I'll tell you what, I'm never going to stop. So then I fought and fought. I got put through a kangaroo trial. I was supposed to appear in court, and suddenly, from just to appear and say, yeah, my address, yeah, this or that, they went, this is a trial, you've had this letter, this is going on, here's your disclosure, get out there, you've got an hour. What? What is this? You know what that was? Kangaroo court. So it was like, I'd suffered extreme anxiety through what the police had done to me in the agoraphobia, and years of that. Never went out the door for 3 years, literally. So I was in utter disbelief. It's right before my eyes. An absolute kangaroo trial. And what could I do? It's the British state, it's the government. There was nothing I could do. What could I do? Nothing. So after the trial, I managed that day not to be sentenced as they planned. And I was given a month, so I fought tooth and nail that month. I kicked up murder on social media because it was just the injustice. You can't put, you can't do that. That's a bit of a joke in my life, because they can, and they do. So I really did go to town before I was given a sentence that would have been complete injustice. And it was coercive control anyway. A woman in Britain, she's just been released for having murdered her husband because of coercive control and domestic abuse, whereas I threw a little pot of paint because of what they'd done to me over years and years and years. I haven't quite finished telling you what they've done to me. 15 years. It covers 15 years. So that was like just unreal. So if you can only imagine, I was never off the phone, and things are coming in, and the bailiffs, and then I had to, I couldn't get accommodation, I couldn't get a reference, I couldn't get access to data, the police were messing me around, the access to data organisation in Britain. I've got vast records of me calling and calling and calling them to say they're breaking the law. They won't give me the access to data. This was all to delete evidence. Courts, the Ministry of Justice, deleting details, snail mail. So I didn't, oh, that's deleted, that CCTV. Now if you getting battered and abused and gang chanted at by the police, that's deleted now. Oh, is it now? Really? Okay then, cover up like when I was a child. When I was in the care abuse system, that's what they used to do. They're all one big nasty gang, as my SOS video states clearly. What the hell is this? It's a British government state cover up of abuse and torture. And you wouldn't believe what would go on in Britain. But look at Country Squire magazine and see the councillor that ran to Manila. The long arm of the law. They went to every shop I used because I sent my bank statements as evidence, to gain access to data. They took that and they went to every shop I used and told them I was some former terrorist because the people, they told me, and everyone started acting really strange with me. And then I began getting stalked and followed. So it was just relentless, life disrupting, abuse, followed, stalked, attacked. I've got a hole of shame on YouTube of the ones I caught in action, and it's pretty astounding material, and that's just not even touches on the things that have gone on. And I will in the future. I'm an utterly determined person, and I'm going to detail the tactics that they use in the respect of, it's that there was a case recently, a member of Parliament's Labour and someone from the Brexit MEP candidate said, I wouldn't rape you, which is basically getting away with criminally saying you're too ugly to rape, and an abusive suggestion that I would rape you, but you're too ugly. That is an absolute criminal offence, but yet it's lawful. So in the manner that I've been being abused, it's a gaslighting, abuse by proxy thing, getting other people to target me. I was well, here we go again. I went to festival. I was targeted, I was attacked, and I was abused relentlessly. And I think it's going to be a very interesting thing to download my archive of tweets for this last year, because my God, there's a book in there. There truly is, and it details each and every day of what's been going on. And yeah, I've got videos of them attacking and abuse me. I'm even on a video. A band was on at the festival and I was unaware. I'm just like, oh my God, what's going on? It was that bad. I'm going, I've never been so wrong. The song was on and I didn't know I was being recorded, but it was just that bad. It was unbelievable. I was physically attacked. I got away from that. Go, where's control? What are you doing? Get away from me. You're mad. And I've had it repeatedly, constantly, and that's it's a technique that in a partnership, narcissists would use abuse by proxy towards a partner, gaslight them, and basically, if I was to say, oh, you said that, then I'd be a lunatic or something, so I just have to sit there and not say nothing when it's completely obvious and I'm getting glared at and I'm getting trapped badly. I've lost my doctor, I've lost my dentist. I walked in my dentist and Torbay Council, they've got so much to answer for, it's unreal. They give me a policeman, housing officer, who they all utterly abused me. I got a video on my Twitter, the details that the cover, I called them in. I made a video on YouTube to say, okay, because of my care system abuse when I was a kid, surely these people are going to, if anyone can protect me, it's them. No. Smarten assassins, they just absolutely stabbed me in the back. A member of the public then told me, oh, you do know that's a policeman, don't you? Ex-policeman officer Nick Head, is it? Torbay Council. And the chief of police, ex-Torbay Council, and the council who ran to Manila knows exactly what I'm talking about. And so does Country Squire magazine now, because they're playing like the mafia. They truly are lawless. And so they stole my home. They refused me my every right. I've never been off the phone to human rights. I've never been off the phone to Liberty. I've never been off the phone to civil solicitors. And they still refused me absolutely any assistance whatsoever. And all that time I've just been constantly on the phone pleading for help. And then the social services witness everything. There's all the abuse I've been getting off all British state government, Torbay Council, officers, housing officers, the police in Scotland, the police in Torquay, the general public, the my landlady, landlord, my estate agent sabotaging my post since January, having it redirected to them. And we've sent it returned to sender, but encouraged me to give it to them. So basically my life's entirely sabotaged. I can't manage my affairs. Then they, as I say, best was just unbelievable what they did to me. It was just unbelievable. I came back, as I say, in my other video I got sentenced, and I found that to be fair and just. You know, I'd done wrong, and I take responsibility. What I did was not the correct manner to go about things, but I was just beyond it because there's no justice, and I already knew that. And I just started to shake, and, you know, that woman, as I say, she was applauded for it. And she's gone off and she'll live a life happily ever after, where I'll be tortured and punished for whistleblowing on them, for really torturing me, severely torturing me. And after that, one day after that, I was to go to Glasgow to stay one night. And I've never revealed this until this week on social media. I actually went up. I flew up with a lot of Scottish Glaswegian friends I know, all live where I do in Torquay. Known them all my life, best friends of them all my life. And they were going for Scottish Independence Day. You know, there was a big march, and that would have been like, wow, I'd love to see that, I want to go, you know. And I support Scottish independence. My family is Scottish. I was to go, and that would have been on, was it the 15th? It was on the 15th of September. So I flew up on the 14th. By midnight, I'd been set up by the Glasgow police. I've been attacked 3 times, as my videos show. And they're laughing at me, they robbed me, they drugged me, and they deleted the CCTV. I would like you now to Google Holly Greig, and look at the content of that video. The setups by the police, the drugging people, that's what they did. They spiked me, as my other video details. And then I was held in with no rights whatsoever for 88 hours. I went on hunger strike, and they battered me so bad I couldn't move. They left me on a freezing cold floor naked all weekend, and just treated me like absolute the way. Well, there was 2 women on either side of the cell from me, and they said, you wouldn't treat an animal like that, to the solicitor. When I come out, and I went, tell him. And that's what I couldn't. I said, can I have a shower, a toothbrush and a hairbrush? And this was after 3 days. And they were, I was offering you a coffee, you getting nothing now, and slammed the thing on me. It's just like, I couldn't move. I was in so much pain and damaged, and they wouldn't let me sleep. They sleep deprivated me. And that's been a common thread with this. They sleep deprivated me. So, you know, there was a woman, she was, I believe she was murdered, and it was a cover-up. They deleted the body cam, or got rid of the body cam evidence. What the prison was that? Peterborough prison. Google that. They went in, right, kicked her. She was dead on the floor in a cell. Kicked her, see if there's any life in her, yeah, and then threw water over her. Now that's the kind of abuse I'm talking about. Delete the CCTV, they nearly cut my hands off, they left me stutter. When I came out of that police station in May 2018, I went to my doctor, I couldn't even speak. I was that traumatised. And as I say in my other video, I'm going, it was my way of saying, I was going, I know what I want to say, but I can't say it. That's how bad. That's what they done to me, after what they'd already done to me. And I'm not the type to get upset, but talking about it's very difficult. Because it's lawless. So then moving on from there, I was having to go to Glasgow then. All my money spent on running to Glasgow for something I'm innocent of, and that they've hidden the evidence of, and that I was drugged. And I've got my own video evidence. You know, I needed that video evidence to prove I was drugged, and to show exactly what began it, how it began is the main part. And, you know, I can't have it. I accessed data to Scotland. They pretended they never even had the application. I said, Royal Mail wants to investigate you. Oh, we did have it, but we sent it. Did you send it recording? No. I've tried to report crimes. I've got 24 recordings. The social services in Torquay, backstabbing assassins, smiling assassins, witnessed it all. Recalled, cause, report crimes that were being I was being abused, I was being assaulted, I was being attacked, I was being followed. Why do you think I bought the body cam? I can't even go to the toilet now without using the body cam. That's the situation they've got me in. I'll explain further. So, where were we? I couldn't report, I'm not allowed to report crimes, and I've got the evidence of that. I've recorded calls. I've even, you know, I called, I've just been on the phone just 24/7, and I've given up on that now because it's just pointless. I've contacted the health minister and the head of this department and that department. They just ignore you. They just ignore you. Well, they ignore me entirely. You know, when I work for the Home Office and I'm a Dragon's Den Sweets Pitch winner, entrepreneur, run my own international medical company, was asked to work for the Home Office criminal justice, asked to be senior to the police, asked to work for Torbay Council, and this is what they've done to me. So it's just beyond belief. It truly is. And for the damage they done to me as a kid, you know, I was a bit of a class clown. I'm still a clown now. I have a laugh on social media all the time. I've got a great sense of humour, and I bloody well need one to get through this. I really have. And to be as strong as I've been, you know, I'm really proud of myself. I'm a year on now with this. And now I've got through it. God only knows, truly, because the whole intention is to give you a mental breakdown, just to apply pressure. And with abuse by proxy, domestic abuse, coercive control, because that's what this has all been. And to relentlessly keep that up. And then, you know, with the house not going, they say, oh yeah, we're going to help you, and that's our job, and that's what we're supposed to do. And that's the kind of torture method they use, is to make it so intense on you that it's, you know, it's like anyone coming out, jumping on, watching everything, because I'm being attacked for all the time. Oh my God, all the time. And I've been through phases of that, and then they relent for a little bit and pretend someone is going to help me, and then they just stab me right in the back and start it all right back up again. You know, I wish I was imagining all this. I wish I was making it all up. The terrible, awful truth is I'm not. And that led me to flee to Paris. But there's so much more that's gone on in between them. My ex-landlord and my estate agents, in the process of the Glasgow and set up and, you know, being repeatedly attacked. And when I went back to Glasgow, I was attacked again. You're on this completed to be targeted. It was just relentless. Anyone would go insane, but I haven't. I'm absolutely upright and absolutely fine. But I have my bad days, of course I do, but I always get back up again, and I always will. Truly, I always will, because, you know, it's what's righteous, and I bloody well, I'm going to fight for that. You know, I did it as a kid, and that's where my power comes from. So, yeah, where am I with that? Then it was come January the 15th, I was finally, so I was going to Glasgow, and I didn't know whether I'd be put on the street whilst I was in Glasgow and lose everything I own, and I just didn't know whether I was got all my money. I ended up so thin. I was just embarrassed to look on myself, and they relented a little bit for then, a little bit of time, because it was just obvious I was going to drop to the floor dead. If they hadn't, and that would have been answerable, wouldn't it? So they had to let me gain a little tiny bit of weight. I was just drawn, you know, really bad. Mentally fine, but I looked horrific. So they had to sort of relent at that point, didn't they? Just a little bit. And then started right back up again. So that when Torbay Council got their hands on me, that was when the nightmare really began. On the 15th of January, and the first place they dumped me was with this horrible, nasty rat, real rat, bullied me. Oh, I've got to get his name because I've named him many a time directly at him on social media. Gordon, it will come to me, and he is employed by Torbay Council for people to go and stay temporarily at his bed and breakfast, Tusker Lodge, Torquay guest house. Don't go. They're hiding the homeless in the back, and there was only one other girl there, and he slagged her to bits. It was a racist thing as well. Oh God, who were they again? My memory's terrible, but I'm not very good at memory the best of times. It's a renowned Jewish family, and yeah, Lady de Rothschild. Lady de Rothschild. I won't give you the first name, but that we had to sign a piece of paper, and he's going, look at that, and he was picking on me, and he's saying through the intercom, as soon as I arrived, I'm watching you. There was a camera and there was an intercom, and I stepped outside and had a cigarette because I didn't used to smoke, and I started smoking through all this. And at my ear, and he went, how many damn do you smoke a day? And I was, by this time, it's just become normal, all this stalking and following. And I didn't even turn my face and just went, oh, at least 100 a day, as if shut off. That was my sarcastic answer, really, just putting up with it as usual. And he went, you know, I'm watching you doing it. I went, yeah, I know. Normalised. So I reported them to other authorities to make sure it was noted what he was doing to me. And I had my 50th birthday on the 3rd of February, and he attacked and sabotaged it entirely. Domestic abuse, coercive control, not coercive, domestic abuse. Party, #party. They specifically sabotage your celebration. No bigger celebration than my 50th birthday, was that? So yeah, well done. I'll get his name, I really will. Ex-boxer, huge guy, rat. Woman bullying, filthy, dirty rat. So yeah, I'll be happy to out him without question. Same as the rat up in Clyde Hostel, Glasgow. Wayne Megan, he attacked me. You're on this computer to be targeted, forced me to turn my body cam off, exactly as Euro Hostel Glasgow did, and what I'm being charged for. Robs me, beat me, and everything else on video. Yeah, I'm running back and forth to Glasgow. I've been 6,000 miles now, back and forth. 500 there, 500 back, accommodation, everything, flights, money to travel. I have been broke. I haven't been able to eat. No wonder I got so thin. I haven't been able to buy clothes. I haven't been able to do anything. Now I've lost everything. So Torbay Council had a duty to fund me to store my things from one accommodation to another. I had a right. I had a right to housing. I had a right. Medically, I had a right because I've been so damaged by them. And what the abuse that they did to me, that it's just like, my doctor's like, oh no, priority, because she was a good woman. They took her away as well now. I was abused medically last week. I couldn't even get a prescription. Screaming agony pain. I've been in pain for months and months and months. You know, my brother, half brother and my dad died of cancer. I was supposed to have a cancer test. I've already had cancer once, many years ago. So it's critical, really. I have an appointment. No. Hopefully I'll get it this week, unless I get sabotaged again. You don't know. You really don't. I don't know. You know, I've been prevented from all of these things, so who knows. I've got to get a cancer test. I had to wait to have a cancer test in my mouth because of all this. Eventually I got there. I had toothache for months. Last week I got there, and then the doctor refuses me, just cross-examines me. I go on social media, I look at who's taking over my doctor and who's sitting there. the Chief of Police, Devon and Cornwall Police, the long gone with the law abusing me again. I'm not making this stuff up, people. I'm as real as it gets. And this is as real as it gets. And that's why that councillor from Torbay ran to Manila, Country Esquire magazine on Twitter. Go check it out, yeah? Mark King. So it's, thank God I'm not on my own in the respect of I'm not the only one telling this story. And it's not a story, I'm telling the truth. So things got really bad. I fled after he abused me on my 50th birthday. He stole my 50th birthday from me and abused me. I went and complained about it and they just ignored me. So I thought, right, I've got to go, get out of here. Not sit there and wait for more abuse. So I got out of there. Gordon Carlo, Tusker Lodge, guest house, Torquay is a dirty woman abusing snake. There you go. He's a snake. Honest to God, he's a woman abuser. So well done, Gordon Carlo. Yeah, well done. I fled. I thought, I've got a chance this. I'm going to end up on the street. I've got to run or be abused more, and I'm not going to sit here and take that. So I fled. Torbay Council, smiling assassins again. They're all sitting with the police officer, ex-officer. Yeah, all the police, the chief of police, Torbay Council. I was Torbay Council, I should know, yeah. So yeah, they're all sitting in the office and I can see it's all glass, it's not a wall, it's glass, and I can see them all sitting there just laughing at me basically, and I'm at their mercy. That's like abuse by proxy. I was completely in their control by then. I knew I did anything or said anything, I'd be on the streets. They tried to force me to stop using social media. They tried to force me to stop using my body cam. I couldn't argue back. The social services refused to give me statements. I went in their office and put a camera in their face and bloody well demanded it. And took a risk doing that. And, you know, was as polite as my video shows as I could possibly be when I wanted to scream the place down because it's like the abuse from when I was a kid. No one would listen. No one would believe me. Yeah, it's the most renowned case in the country and possibly the world now. Levy Report, QC, barrister. Yeah, he went world global after that, you know. And I've been to the world's best psychiatrist for post-traumatic stress disorder for abuse as a kid, changed British legislation. So there you go. And this is the exact replica situation. But I'm not in some mansion in Staffordshire now, enclosed. I'm in a community and it's going on all around me. So I fled from there, smiling assassins once again. Oh, we'll help you. I thought, these people, you know, someone's got to have a heart here. Someone's got to see this, you know. Looked at all the abuse videos and was like, oh, wow, isn't that terrible? And then dumped me in some loony bin. Like, everything you know, they gave me a list of anything that I would find difficult, the council, for a temporary accommodation. And anything I listed, they gave me. In spite, they gave me. They made it as difficult as possible for me in every single way thinkable. And then this woman started, like this woman, Morgan Avenue, Delaney House, and that's what you hear on that abuse video by the social services pinned tweet. And I'll come and see you, condescending, talking to me condescending, knowing I was in an absolute position where I just couldn't say a word back or be dumped on the streets. It's a long video this and it, but there's been a lot happened, and this isn't half of it, just isn't half of it. So she was a nutcase. As soon as I got there, why don't you go away quietly? Why don't you go away quietly? I'm like, even if I did go away quietly, this wouldn't go away. And that's the truth, it really wouldn't. And I know that because it all began in 2004, one moment. I've kept this, it's 15 years. 15 years. I was senior to the Devon and Cornwall Police and they didn't want me being. And they had this girlfriend, yeah. They had a girlfriend who stabbed my neighbour. And they know it, and they've known it since 2004, and they won't do a thing about it. The judge says on that, in that newspaper, you leave this court without a stain on your character and complain to the chief of police. The detective in charge of the case, the offender's boyfriend, detective, talkie detective, 2 years later, was thrown out the force for robbing elderly people. It's just scumbags, all of them. Absolute filth. And yet, I sat 15 years ago, as I am now, tortured, looking at a sentence for something I'm not guilty of. It's just round the bend. It's just unbelievable. I've got to keep going. I've got to go and answer to injustice again and go through all of that again. So, God knows what's going to happen in Glasgow, but who knows? I know I could place it in front of them that I've been attacked and I've been abused and I get smacked to the floor, and God knows, because I've already had that kangaroo court back in, I think it was June. So much has happened. I've lost track. I've been put on the council blacklist as well. So I walked in my dentist, just unreal, because my dentist is really a nice guy, sound, and everyone, and this receptionist staff, I couldn't believe it. I went to my doctor. He failed to give me some seriously needed painkillers. I was in agony, and it was for toothache. So because I needed cancer checks and all that, I was just said. So over the road from my dentist to my doctor's, I went to the dentist and said, look, I need an appointment. I'd been in to ask for an appointment earlier that day, and I went to my doctor's, supposed to get a prescription, failed to give me the prescription I needed, and it was too late, he'd left. So I went back over to my dentist, quite normal, and said, sorry, I said, I need to, because I was in pure agony, can I get to just speak with the dentist a minute? And she just went, sit down right there. Picked up the phone and went, come upstairs, I need help. I was